Good morning, everybody. Try to be very relaxed. Because these days the COVID patient number is increasing. So everybody have to be very careful and try to be safe all the time. And also beginning of the Dharma class, just focus your achievement, which is the Buddhahood, wish to be Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings, and visualize the triple gem, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Take refuge to them until we become a Buddha. Take refuge to the Buddha as our perfect teacher. Take refuge to Dharma as a perfect protection, the perfect path to free from suffering, the perfect path to achieve the ultimate happiness. Take refuge to the Sangha as a perfect teacher, as a perfect study component. In this world, wherever we go, we can see always sufferings and problems. Whoever we meet in our daily life, everybody has suffering and problem. Everybody has strong desire for a long time to achieve the ultimate happiness. Therefore, today we are going to study the Dharma for achieving Buddhahood, for free from suffering, for benefit for all sentient beings. Therefore, first we chant the 8 verses for the training the mind by Geshe Lobsang. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilled gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as a lowest among all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as the mental and emotional affliction arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those opposed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with the abuse, slander, and scorn. May I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreat me extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mother, both directly and indirectly. May I quickly take upon myself all hurt and pain of my mothers. May all these remain underfelt by the 10 of the 8 mundane concerns, and may, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from the bondage. So in order to practice the end versus maintaining, first you must have the good knowledge how to practice the 7 points. So once we go through the explanation about the 8 verses for the training the mind, the first stanza is the stanza for generating Buddhichita based on exchanging. No need to show I think the verses, I think everybody must have. Yeah. So in order to generate Buddhichita, first we wish to be Buddha. We must have a mind which is thinking, I want to be Buddha. That means you are focusing on Buddha. Second, in order to achieve Buddha, we need to practice great compassion. When we practice great compassion, the compassion mind need to be focused on all sentient beings as our dearest one. Therefore, may I hold them dear at all time. Mean, when you are very happy with everybody, you can hold them as your dear one. When you are not happy, when somebody harm you, then immediately, we will forget those as our dear one. Therefore, may I hold them dear at all time. So, a great compassion is a foundation. In order to practice great compassion, make sure you should not exclude any sentient being, particularly the human being who always harm you, who always abuse you, who always slander you. Then you have, we have the foundation to cultivate Buddhichita. When we have Buddhichita, then we have the most important, a practice to practice the 6 perfections. So when we have Buddhichita, able to practice 6 perfections perfectly, then the becoming Buddha, achieving Buddha, the Buddhahood is not so far. Therefore, make sure we practice all the step by step. First, great compassion. For practicing great compassion, make sure we should not exclude any sentient being. Therefore, he said, may I hold them dear at all times. For example, you have a friend, you are really good friend each other. One day, then your friend try to abuse you, try to cheat you, try to deceive you, try to harm you, already harm you. Then first, of course, you feel very upset, feel very angry. If you continuously hold the anger in your heart, the upset, the sadness, then we never be happy. Instead of holding them as your enemy, doesn't matter how much, no matter how much they harm you, still you hold them as your dear friend. Then it change, the environment. Whether you are Buddhist, you are serious Buddhist or not, we must know, how to control our anger, how to change our mind. This is mainly, explained how to generate Buddhichita. First, achieve the highest aim, mean the enlightened state. Then, why you want to be Buddha? Because not I want to be happy, because I want to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, for the benefit of all sentient beings. The sentient beings are more superior, more important than the fulfilling gem. If you have the rare fulfilling gem, it can be fulfill your this life, satisfaction. Like it never give you Buddhahood. If you compare the fulfilled gem and sentient beings, which is more important for you? Normal people definitely say, oh, the fulfilling gem is very important because I can, fulfill whatever I wish for this life. If you are serious Buddhist practitioner, if you are really serious about becoming Buddha, then you must choose the sentient being rather than the fulfilling gem. The second, in order to hold all sentient beings, as your dear, then you always have to be you have to remain in the lowest like a position. Therefore, whenever interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest among all. That means mentally, you have to view yourself as the lowest. Some of you are maybe a teacher. When you go in the classroom, you have to look like a teacher. You must teach them as your student. Mentally, you must hold, they are superior than me. So this mentally you have to view the lowest among all, not physically. Not just hold as a tradition. It's a very depth of my heart. Right? Then the third, in all my deeds, may I probe into my minds. It's not only, during the Dharma practice while you are doing meditation. Every moment you need to probe, you need to analyze your mind. While you are eating, while you are walking, while you are talking to someone, while you are taking shower, always, analyze, probe your mind. Which monies I have this moment. The negative mind, the positive mind, the neutral mind. When you realize, oh, this moment, my mind is very positive. I have a positive mind, like a compassion, kindness, tolerance. I have a strong faith into Drepung. Then try to continue, continues the positive minds. After you analyze, you notice, oh, this moment, my mind is very negative. I feel my anger. I feel my attachment. I feel my ego, jealousy. Therefore, should not let it continuously. Immediately, you must control. Use, certain methods. Immediately, you must control for the short time. In the long time, you try to get rid them from the root. This means all my deeds, particularly, during your Dharma study, during your Dharma practice, during your recitation, whatever you engage into Dharma practice, very important, you must analyze your mind. Many times we engage into Dharma practice because, oh, my friend has done this, I must do. Right? This means you are engaging Dharma with a sense of jealousy or sense of competitiveness. This means all time. You need to prove your mind all time when you are doing Dharma practice. When I see, so when you analyze, yes, now my mind is, very positive. I have a only positive mind. I have a very compassionate mind. I have a kind mind. Then suddenly you saw very unpleasant character person. Then immediately the compassion, the kindness, tolerance has disappeared. Anger, hatred arise. It's very easy to, have this kind of thing in our life. That time also, we have to be very careful. When I see beings of the unpleasant character, and those are processed by strong negativity and suffering. Right? So when we see the unpleasant character, like your enemy, then you notice, oh, your enemy has so many problems. Then you feel very happy. So instead of feel happy, you must generate love and compassion. So because this point is the most important point or time to generate love and compassion. If there's no enemy, then you can practice compassion immediately. Imagine somebody is suffering, then you try to cultivate compassion. This point, actually you can see the suffering being. So this is the very crucial time to practice love and compassion, right? Therefore, may I hold them dear, or they are rare to find. First, you have to hold this dear because you don't want suffering, you want happiness. If you hold them as your enemy, unpleasant person, annoying person, it makes you very unhappy. You don't want, happiness. You want happiness. Therefore, instead of thinking this is my enemy, this person is very annoying, this person is bad, and this is this, you must think, oh, those are very important for me. Accept, hold as your dear. Then you feel happy. First, you can get benefit. In the long time, it's so rare to find this kind of person to cultivate love and compassion, Buddhichita, because you wish to be Buddha. So achieving Buddhahood depending on Buddhichita. Buddhichita depending on great compassion. Great compassion depends on, the person who makes you annoying. Therefore, we must think, wow, it's a good opportunity to meet, to see this kind of people. Then, when other out of jealousy treat me wrongly with the abuse, slander, scorn. So I said many times, this word you must change. When other out of jealousy, out of anger, out of ignorance, out of misunderstanding, right? So in our life, many people always try to slander you, try to abuse you, try to scorn you because they're jealous you, because they're angry with you, because they have an ignorance about you. They have a lot of misunderstanding. Therefore, based on this condition, the person abuse you. Therefore, that time, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to other the victoria. Again, as a beginner, first mentally you take, their defeat, your defeat, offer your victoria to them. If they feel happy to abuse me, let them abuse. I'm okay to be abused. That means you are accepting the abuseness, you're offering the victoria to them. When they abuse you, if you just try to be quiet and cultivate compassion, then the person feels very happy. Today I abuse. That means the person became victor, right? Victor. So you can offer the victor to them, accept the defeat upon yourself. If you mentally do this, you're not going to lose anything. Then after your mind become very stable, then you can go through the practical way. When someone whom I have or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreat me extremely hurtful way, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. Then, in brief, I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and the pain of my mothers. This is mainly practice of giving and taking. Instead, directly, indirectly. For example, someone is very hungry. If you have a bread, you offer. That means you are offering the benefit directly. So when we dedicate our merit, when we pray for someone, free from suffering, have a successful life, also we are offering things indirectly. Then say, may I quietly, mean you no need to let them know, I dedicate merit for you. I do this. You just do quietly. May I all this remain undefiled, undefiled, mean all, since, practicing Buddhichita, is reminding, view yourself as Allah, all the previous practice which is mentioned, make sure all practice remain very pure. Therefore, may all this remain undefiled, very pure. In order to be all the practice be pure, first we need to control the mundane conscience. And also during the degeneration time, many people do good things for, becoming famous. They have been doing a lot of good things in order to receive a lot of praise, in order to receive a lot of happiness for themselves. So we totally, kind of ignore them. Just do with a pure motivation. Even though when you support your family, your brother and sister, you support from your heart with a pure motivation. You should not have a hope to receive, the reward things. Still, you are, supporting your family as your family, but this is also doing this, becoming good dharma practice. So when we support our family with a condition, then always you feel, dissatisfaction. If you support them without any condition, you feel very satisfied. Right? Then it's a gross level. First, we need to control the mundane conscience, the gross. Then the subtle, from the root, we need to control the self-grasping, the self-attitude. In order to control, in order to eliminate the self-grasping, we need to realize emptiness of the person, emptiness of the rest of the phenomena. Therefore, and may I recognizing all things as illusion. Illusion doesn't mean there's nothing, everything is my mind. No. For example, there's a big, there's a small, there's a good, there's a bad, there's a cold, there's a hot, everything is there. But everything is not there as an independent phenomena. For us, everything look like independent. When we totally forgot, everything is actually established by like a human being, established by myself, established by my mind. So when you recognize everything's there, but established by my mind, then you can feel everything's look like illusion. Therefore, sometimes you just sit in your home, look around. First, you can say, oh, there's a book. Second, you analyze how the book is established. The book exists from their own side, or mainly our, what we call imputation. Then slowly you notice there are a bunch of paper put together, then we label as a book. That means everything, the big and small, hot and cold, everything established by our mind. It doesn't mean there's no hot. There's a hot, there's a cold, hotness, coldness, ugliness, beautiful is there. But those are like an illusion. Then you can eliminate the self-grasping. So in order to practice the 8 versus maintaining, then you need to practice the 7 point. Yesterday, I asked you to memorize the 5 points, right? 5 points. The point number 1, the preliminary practice, which is the basis, which is the foundation to practice the rest of the, I think, like a 5. The commitments, then the precepts has come later. There's a foundation, right? Then mainly there are the 5 foundation. There are mainly the 5 practice we need to practice before we practice Buddhichita. Because many of us has a problem. We try to practice Buddhichita, emptiness, like Tantrayana practice, without having the solid foundation. This is our problem. Also, this is, kind of illogical. Without foundation, how you can build? Without land, what thing you can grow? We need something to grow something. Therefore, preliminary. First, rely on the qualified guru. Then, remember the lecture and opportunity of the human life. It is so important, so difficult to find this kind of human life. Then second, yes, we have human life, but we have been seeing, many of our families pass away. Many of our friends pass away. Many people every day, thousands of people passing away. But we never think it's happened to me. We know it's happened to me one day. But we never think it's happened to me anytime. There's no certain, impermanence and death. First, rely on the qualified guru. They reflect on the leisure and opportunity of the human life. So difficult to find because of the cost. So easy to lose because impermanent, particularly like this kind of time. All the food we consume is very unhealthy. The food and the drink, the environment, the medicine, everything become, like cost to take our life. Then you meditate on impermanence and death for a few minutes until you feel kind of the experience about impermanence and death. When we think about death, we should not look at outward. We look inward. I'm going to die anytime. Impermanence, death. After I died, then third one, reflect on the karma. Right? This one you can, use the foundation of all good qualities. Is very systematic. Then, after you reflect on like next life, if there's no next life, no need to do really, lot of things. Just enjoy your life. Whatever you eat, whatever you drink, just eat and drink with the enjoy. No worry about karma, next life. It is not the case, there's a next life. The next life, 100% going to determine by the karma, not by a Buddha, not by your guru, not by your family, only by the karma. There's only 2 types of karma, the positive and negative. Here, you really need strong conviction. Yes, negative karma give rise suffering and problem. A positive karma give rise happiness and the positive things. You really need strong conviction. For example, if you really know this is the poison, if you eat it, you're going to die. Then I don't think you will touch the poison. All the negative karma, you need to think, like a poison, like a poison. All the positive karma, you must think, look like these are very healthy food. I must eat all the time that I can be healthy. Then third, you reflect on negative karma, negative consequence, positive karma, positive consequence. The negative karma, bring me into lower realms, hungry animal realms, hungry and hell. Then you reflect all the suffering. Then law of causality. Then if I just accumulate in positive, negative karma, still I will be in samsara. Then, for example, if you eat healthy food all the time, it doesn't matter how much healthy food you eat every day. One day, definitely you're going to die. That means doesn't matter how much positive and negative karma you have. Doesn't matter how much positive karma you have. Still, we are in samsara. We have to go through the 12 interdependence, aging, sickness, death. Then think, oh, the samsara, the karma, everything depends on the negative afflictive emotion, like anger, attachment, all of them in ignorance. So in order to get rid of the ignorance, then you need to practice the three mind training, shila and concentration and the wisdom. Right? Then the next one that you need to practice great compassion. When you reflect upon yourself, how you are in samsara, how you have been, experiencing the suffering, the same way you think is same to every sentient being, all sentient being, then suddenly you are able to cultivate great compassion. These are the great compassion. Then, altruism. Then suddenly you start the actual practice. Actual practice. Make sure actual practice. There's two types of practice: ultimate Buddhichita and conventional Buddhichita. Ultimate Buddhichita you can practice during during the meditation and after the meditation of ultimate Buddhichita. Therefore, tend to view all phenomena as dream-like. That means just reflect on all phenomena around you. Everything is look like illusion, empty of independent existence, empty of inherently existent. Meditate on emptiness of all the objects. That means an object, that there must be a subject, the mind, which is meditate on the emptiness. Second, you must reflect the mind which is meditate on the emptiness. Then the mind which is aware emptiness. The nature of the mind is also empty of inherent existence. Then second, meditate on emptiness of the mind. Then when you meditate on emptiness of the mind, the wisdom which realizes emptiness of the mind, it is antidote to reduce or eliminate the ignorance. Then it became antidote. It doesn't mean the antidote itself exists inherently. It also empty of inherent existence. Mean meditate on emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of the mind, emptiness of the both. The emptiness of the, meditate on emptiness, meditate on the emptiness of the mind. For, like this is, you need to meditate on emptiness for, time as much as you can. Then you awake or you arose from the meditation session, then you can look around. Then second one here said, please in the interval be conjured with the illusion. That illusion means when you arose from your meditation, everything looks like illusion. The sound, the smell, the phenomena, things around you is like illusion. There's nothing you can attach. There's nothing you can angry on it. Everything like illusion. Right? This means, second, how you practice the conventional Buddhichita after the meditation session. Then, how to practice the conventional Buddhichita on the meditation. During the meditation, how to meditate on, how to practice the conventional Buddhichita in the meditation. Then chant alternatively in the two, giving and taking, giving and taking, right? Taking, give and taking. Then first you give your all good things, take all the negativity things. First, then you remember, first you give yourself. You don't know you are giver, giving good things to your, tomorrow you are, day after tomorrow you are, next life. Turn yourself, giving and taking. You take the suffering which is you going to experience this evening, tomorrow, next month, next life, everything you take in. Then second, you turn your mind, giving and taking based on your dear mother. Then your relatives. They're slowly all sentient beings. Just you sit quietly, practice giving and taking, giving and taking. Taking. That interval, alternatively to giving and taking, place the true asterite, your breath. Then again you arose from meditation session. Then three objects, attractive, unattractive, the neutral, then attachment, anger, ignorance, then non-attachment, non-anger, non-ignorance are the three virtues. That means when you arose your meditation, when you see the beautiful object, attractive object, you must remember these are all illusion, no need to attach. I'm mistaken. When you see ugly object, unpleasant character person, should not get angry. Those also like illusion. That means you try to practice the non-attachment, non-anger, non-ignorance. That means 3%, right? Then how to practice the conventional Buddhichita after the meditation session. Then, in all action, tend by means of the words. If nobody around you, if you're alone, then you recite the verses which is talking about giving and taking. The verses which is about explaining self-grasping is the root of the sufferings. Other cherishing, It's the root of the happiness. You must, recite the verses. Then third point, taking adverse condition into the path of enlightenment. Then the adverse condition, you can condition to the path of the enlightenment. The adverse condition, how to transform, how to take into the path of enlightenment. Then there's another 3 ways. How to take adverse condition onto the path of enlightenment by means of conventional Buddhichita, number 1. Number 2, by means of ultimate Buddhichita, by means of the 4-fold powers. That means when the world and its habitant boil with the negativity, transform adverse condition into the path of enlightenment. Now, how to transform? Then banish all blame to the single sources. Towards all being contemplate their great kindness. That means when you see this adverse condition, unexpected thing happen to your life, that means you feel very unhappy. They must think, oh, the unhappiness, the adverse condition, undesirable condition, thing happened to me is not because of other, it's not because of the weather, it's because of my self-centered attitudes. This is the main source to bring all the suffering. That means banish all blame to the single source. That means there's only one source to bring all the suffering, which is self-centered attitudes. Right? That means, oh, this thing happened because of the self-centered attitude. You must remember the other cherishing. Then when you see the desirable thing happening to you, oh, the good thing happens to me yesterday, today will happen tomorrow because of the other great kindness. That means happiness comes from others, cherishing, suffering come from my self-cherishing. Since today I must change this mindset. Until today I thought self-cherishing bring me my happiness. Today I notice the self-cherishing actually brings only suffering. Until today I thought other cherishing is the source of suffering, but today I notice other cherishing is the source of happiness. I must change the mindset. That means you are transforming all the adverse condition into the path, the means of Buddhichita, conventional Buddhichita. The second one, the yoga protection. Then that's land I didn't really find in Tibetan. With the 3 views and the treasury of the space, the yoga of protection is unexcelled by meditating on illusion as for the 4 Buddha bodies. Emptiness is the protection unsurprised. I mean, the illusion, right? 4 illusion. That means again, when you know something happened to you, that time things happen to you as an independently, then you must remember again the emptiness. Right? Then the third, how to taking adverse condition onto the path of the enlightened mind, by means of the 4-fold practice. I hope you remember the 4-fold practice: accumulating merit, purifying negative actions, offer to the the harmful, the being who harm you, offering to the Dharma protector to give you like more suffering. That means you feel experience of suffering. This suffering comes from negative karma. I need to reduce negative karma. Not only reducing the karma, I need to stop to engage into negative karma by physically, mentally, verbally. Physically, mentally, we don't engage much into negative action. But mentally, almost all the time, we engage into negative karma. Right? Then you wish to be happy. You need a lot of happiness. I want happiness. I want to be happy. How? I need to accumulate merit. Accumulating merit through the making offering, doing prostration, reciting mantra, doing meditation. The best, easiest way to accumulate merit is the practicing Buddhichita. Because Shantideva said, Buddhichita, it itself accumulates all the merits. Through Buddhichita, purifying all the negative karma, that the heaviest karma going to purify. That means mainly practice Buddhichita. Then the third point, when you notice, this thing happened to me because of the behind, there's some kind of harmful person or harmful spirit or ghost, whatever. Until now, what we do a lot of ritual and chanting, that chase them away. We harm them. Sometimes we kill them. So this is not the Kadampa practice. Instead of harming, we must appreciate. We must, ghost, spirit, I really appreciate you give me suffering. You remind me my Dharma practice. You remind me my negative karma. That means they become like a teacher, teaching you, don't be lazy. Practice Dharma. Don't be just happy. Practice Dharma. Be appreciative to them. And also offer, Dharma offering to the Dharma protector. So, Dharma protector means, like, for example, Dalai Lama or Mahakala, Mahakali, Kalarupa. We consider those are Dharma protector. Means they have two responsibilities. Protect the Buddha teaching, protect the person who practice the Dharma. If you don't practice any Dharma, you are not Dharma practitioner, the Dharma protector never protect you. If you purely practice Dharma, the Dharma protector will protect you. Right? 4 powers. Next, presentation of the lifetime's practice in summary. In brief, the essence of the instruction is this: apply yourself to the 5 powers. As Mahayanas, transference method is the 5 power only. The practice is vital. This means the 5 powers. Hope remember the 5 power. There's 2 different order. The first order, how to practice the 5 power, before we reach to the process of death. That's one order. Second, the order is a little bit different. The same number, how to practice 5 power when we are on the process of death. Therefore, the 5 power is the very effective, very important power practice for the generally lifetime, particularly the moment of the death. He has said very clearly, the 5 power alone, that as Mahayanas, transference method is the 5 power only. According to Suttarayana practice, this is the only practice for your transfer your this life to next good life. Then their practice is vital. In Tibetan say, this practice, you always very careful, always you change your habits. So in Tibetan we can say here very clearly, Tomani Cholam Je. Cholam means your daily habits. You need to put habit in your daily life, these 5 powers. This is very important. It's a vital, but in Tibetan say, you need to put habits. You need to familiarize with the 5 power in your daily life. Then moment of the death, so during the procedure of the death, we can practice very easily because we have been practicing 5 power every day our daily life. So definitely you can think, if we are able to practice the 5 power, the moment of the death, then 100% sure our next life will be happy life. In our next life, definitely we can continuously practice Dharma. Otherwise, the other power, she, whom, pet, whatever, is not sure. If the person is fully trained, then the Tantrayana practice can be very useful. Otherwise, it's never be effective for us. Therefore, 5 power. Then presentation of the measure of having trained the mind. So that means finally how we know my mind is fully trained in the Dharma. How I know I'm trained well in Dharma. How I know. That means very clear. The intents of the all teaching convergence of the single point. All the Buddha teaching, since the first will, second will, third, all the Buddha teachings, right? Intent is only just one. The intent of all the teaching convergence on the single point. For what? Control, reduce, eliminate the self-grasping, self-centered attitudes. Only all the Buddha teaching mainly focus on eliminating, controlling, self-grasping. Of the 2 witness, uphold the principal one. Second, actually how I know I'm trained and become more familiar with the Dharma. I perfectly practice how I know. Then you need to witness. To witness. Number 1, other people can be witness. Like your father, your wife, your children, your family notice, oh, my father become more calm, more compassionate, less angry, less, arousing less anger, less attachment, become very peaceful, very open mind. Other people will notice. Or then slowly other people will say, oh, this person was very angry, now become very compassionate. This person very stingy, now become very generous. This person very short-tempered, now become very compassionate. This person is always have a strong attachment with the family things, now become non-attachment. People will say, other people can be witness. But we don't trust what other people say. When they get little benefit, they will say, oh, this person become very good, so everything is good. When you did little wrong, when you harm little bit to other, everybody say, oh, this person is very bad. Those are not, kind of ultimate, perfect witness. Second, you yourself be witness. You need to check. First, you visualize the attractive object. Check attachment arising or not. When you visualize, yes, we know it is just created by my mind. Second, you just go close to the beautiful object. Then you knew the attachment is arising. Second, you visualize the unpleasant person, your enemy. Also, you can control your anger. When you meet your enemy, the anger arising means you haven't turned yet. Also, you just think, your own benefit and benefit for others. Sometimes you think your own benefits, that means you haven't turned yet. If you only thinking other benefits, that means you are turned well. That means second, you yourself be witness, turning your mind. First, other, second is you. And also there's another meaning, always true principle can be witnessed, Buddha and his teaching. Second is the law of causality, the laws of karma. You always think, and doing this is again with the Buddha teaching, is again with the Buddha advice, is again, then you are doing wrong. You are doing this is again with your daily kind of like a law of causality, you are doing wrong. You have been doing this, is doing according to the law of causality, that means you are doing right. True witness, right? Then cultivate constantly joyful mind alone. Therefore, when you're doing meditation, practice Buddhichita, you have a very joyful mind. Always joy. Then suddenly something happened, the joyful mind has disappeared, you haven't turned yet. With this can be done even when distracted, you are 10. That means you are fully practicing, meditate on compassion. You cultivate compassion. Suddenly somebody annoying you, you get angry, you distracted come, that your compassion distract, you haven't turned. That means I said many times, we have to be remain as a solid rock. When you go around the East Coast Park or what you call the Sentosa, you can see, next to the river, you can see very solid rock. A solid rock cannot be destroyed by water. It doesn't matter how much water around, the solid rock is always solid. The sun, the raining, the windy, the water doesn't affect the rock. The rock is always reminded. Therefore, we always have to be reminded with the great compassion, Buddhichita. Anger, undesirable thing happen us. No destruction. Desirable thing happen around us. No destruction. For example, the living example, we can use Dalai Lama. He's one of the most famous person, the most famous, but he doesn't have any kind of attachment, doesn't distract by the famous name. Also, from the Buddhist point of view, he's one of the most important religious teacher. But he always remains very calm. He doesn't have any distraction. Beautiful object doesn't distract him. Ugly object doesn't distract you. Even though very beautiful lady say, I want to kiss you. Dalai Lama said, it's okay, you can kiss my cheek. But sometimes the lipstick is quite ugly for my face. So if somebody kiss him, he doesn't have any attachment. For us, somebody kiss you, attachment. Somebody slap you, anger. That means we are not trained very well. Therefore, the last one, I said, we will discuss the measure of having trained well, train the mind. Then next, the presentation of the commitments and of the mind training, the perception. Among the first one, 10 constantly in the 3 general points, right? This one you can check with the index. This mentioned what are the three. That means first make sure your daily practice not against with the Buddha teachings. Second, not against with your vows, your commitments. Right? Third one, make sure your practice never be biased. The second, the principle is, for example, we have many people doing like that. Because you practice Buddha teaching, you practice great compassion, then you knew one of your friend is very sick, or he or she has got a contingent disease. Then you think, oh, I'm very compassionate person, I practice, Buddha teaching, I must, support the person, you touch the person. It's okay with the great compassion, but it will give you a lot of disease. So also you say, oh, I'm practitioner, I can do like this, no, like that. Also, there's a snake around the, where you stay. Then you say, oh, I'm very compassionate, I take the snake, you play with the snake. Again, you is against with the law, right? Also, you can say, oh, I don't have an attachment, I don't have a desire, So I was born with the necklace. I don't have a cross when I was born. It's okay, I can walk around the market with the nakedly. Yes, mentally, it's okay, but still against with the law. That means you're always very careful your daily practice. Make sure it's according to Buddha teaching, not against with the Buddha teaching, with the Buddha advice. Make sure it's not against with my vows. Make sure it's not against with the, the law of the country, generally the kind of law. The third, make sure your practice is not bias. You can practice patience with the human. You cannot practice patience with the non-human. Practicing patience becomes bias. You can generate compassion to your family, friends, your neighbors, cannot your enemy, again bias. These are the commitments. Then the second lane is very important. Transform your attitudes, but remain as you are. It's very important, remain as you are. Most of you are Singaporean, you have your own language, own culture. You don't have to be like Tibetan. You don't need to have Tibetan name. Just through studying Dharma with the Tibetan master, studying or practice Dharma from the Tibetan language, you don't have to be like Tibetan. You don't have to be like Bhutanese. You don't have to be like Thai. Remain as you are. Remain as a Singaporean. That's your normal way. You don't need to change your lifestyle, but you must transform your attitude. Before anger, now must be compassionate. Before very jealous person, now you really appreciate everybody, no jealousy. So because you can see many in the Western country, where they're interested in Buddhism, they change their culture, their tradition, they try to be like like Tibetan, like a Thai, Burmese, Sri Lankan. So all of you, just remain as a good Singaporean, carry your countries, carry your people, remain as a Singaporean, no need to change anything. So some of you, name like Tibetan, you need Tibetan, why? No need. Therefore, it's a very important thing here. Transform your attitudes, but remain as you are. The rest of that is quite easy to understand. Okay, now I think we almost we complete the 8 verses for maintaining, the 7 point for maintaining. You have the kind of image of the verses in your mind. You haven't put in order. Therefore, you can put all the image of the words in your mind. But second, you put in order. So when you chant, first you remember the points. Right? In Tibetan, we say first one, Tampong Mundo Dala Lap. The second is Chena Milam Tabrusam, Mahiribe Shilache, Mahiribe Shilache, O Kujibulaja, Tunsam Gimi Hiburja. First you put all the words in your mind, second you put in order. So when you put in order, first you chant first line few times, second, first and second chant together, third, you chant third line few times, then first, second, third together chant, then join the fourth line, first chant few times, then first, second, third, fourth line chant together few times, then add the 5th line and chant together, add the 6th line, chant few times and together. That means 1 and 2, 2 to 3 is you just add, then very easy to memorize. You cannot memorize everything, right? For example, Singapore, Thailand. First I say sing, then ga, singa, then pur, then Singapore. Then I say Thai, then Singapore, Thai, then land, then I must say Singapore, Thailand, Sing, then Singa, then Singapore, then Thai, then land. You must add, next word and chant next word. Then very easy to memorize. Once you learn how to memorize just for the 8 verses maintaining, then next time you can memorize any chant, any text very easily. Okay, any question?
Geshe, so far none. To everyone, I have actually unmute your mics, so feel free to ask Geshe if you have any question directly. For those who are having mic problem, you can just key into the chat window. I will convey to Geshe.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question. The next, we use the textbook, right? The part to the illuminates by Adisha. So now we go one by one. So next we enter into the actual text. Between we come because practicing Buddhichita, so and so. So next time when we have a class, again we go through the meditation of the 8 verses or 7 points, then we start our class. So that means all the study, we try to put into 8 verses maintaining all the 7 points. The 7 point also must include into 8 verses maintaining. Then all the 8 verses maintaining, you try to put into practice of ultimate and conventional Buddhichita. Then in your daily life, you practice the 2 Buddhichittas. Okay, so thank you so much for attending the class and have a happy Sunday. And everybody, try to be safe, follow the rules and regulations for the COVID. And also when the number is increasing, I think some people become very panic. You really no need to be very panic. You know how to protect yourself, but you should not be very agitated. You should not feel so stressful. You just feel free, but still you protect yourself. At the end, we do the dedication. During our class, we have accumulated a great amounts of merits. So today, we dedicate all the merits for world peace. And this day, the whole world is become crazy. There's so many, politics problems between different nations. Look like there will be a lot of conflicts between different countries. All our merits today we have accumulated. We dedicate for world peace, dedicate for the reduce all the wars and fighting. Jamba Baya Jidra Gembo, Gundo Zambo, the Yang, the Jen, the Pungi, Jesu, the Lord. Gawa Nida Damja Rasu, Dusun Shibi, Gawa Damja, Moa Kanga, Chodo, Mabad. Dagi Gave Zawa, Digun, Yazambo, Cheche, Radu, Ye. Okay, thank you. Have a happy Sunday. Bye-bye.